going on, everyone? This is I don't know if I'm Elias or Elias today. I got called out for being Trejo. I said Trejo versus Trejo. So I'm just myself today. Here's with the No Sabo podcast.
Telling you, man.
I'm here with my crew. who are you guys?
Iberis.
John.
Yon?
I was thinking, like, how the fuck do I say it in Spanish? It's fine.
But is it okay? I'm pretty sure we talked about this before. Is it just Jon, John, or are you a Jonathan?
Oh, I'm a Jonathan.
Okay, so it's Jonathan.
John. How do you even say that in Spanish?
Jonathan.
Jonathan.
How does your mom say it?
John.
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 Yon. John.
They don't call me by my full name.
That's true, me either.
You were talking about
do they call
earlier, like nicknames, but I don't have a nick. Like they call me John at home, John everywhere.
Yeah.
They've always called me John. Like when I was little, they called me Jonah, but
Jonah?
Snap.
yeah, I heard a snap too. Fuck. I think it's a table actually, or my water bottle.
Damn.
But yeah, no nickname. You guys have a nickname? You guys got a nickname? No?
Thor, Daddy.
Oh,
You know, just whatever you want to call me. Yeah.
He's like, my name's John, but you can call me anytime.
Oh, God.
Damn.
Just kidding, I'm married.
No, for me, they just call me Ibe.
Ibe?
At home, like my family calls me Ibe.
Damn. So it's like Eva, Ivy, Rice.
Yeah.
You got it all. You're
I
like
do.
Diddy. You got all these different names.
I do.
I love
All
the
these aliases.
What's going on over there, John? Do we need to tighten some
I
things?
think I fixed it.
Maybe. Oh, don't touch it.
Yeah.
I got compliments on the last podcast. Thank you. Brenda?
Bianca?
Bianca.
Okay. Well, now she's
Now she's
pissed.
pissed.
You just done fucked that one up. I
Damn.
used to call. I think it was self-named. Was Eltre, like ELTRE. That was
You
back.
gave yourself that name?
Yeah, because I
Lame.
was so my girlfriend at the time.
Loser.
Hey, so my girlfriend at the time, she'd call herself J Lo, right? Jennifer Lopez. So she
What's
used
her
like
name? Jennifer Lopez?
the J Lo. We were dating. She just didn't know it yet, but yeah. So it was JLO for Jennifer Lopez. So I was like, I'm gonna be L Trey ELTRE. So that was my name.
So my name is El Trey. And you're like, you're a tray, like a food tray?
Yeah, people were like, does that mean the three? And I was like, no, bitch. Like, come on.
Oh.
Like, it's L
If
Trey.
you have
It's
to
like J Lo.
explain it, dude.
If you have to explain it, it's not a good name.
It was on my license plate. That's how, like,
It was not.
it was.
You let that
Like,
know?
so you put Elias. What's your middle name?
There wasn't no middle name. It was just L Trey, ELTRE. It was just one word.
He is a lion.
No, like, I think I still have
I
the
need to
license
see.
plate.
I need to see it.
I'm gonna take a photo. I think it's hanging in my, in my old bedroom from high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You should have kept that going, man.
What?
You should have kept it going, renew those plates.
No.
No, I can't. That was the old me. Now I'm a new me.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's funny as fuck.
I've evolved. I've caterpillared into a butterfly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It was like, or a moth.
something. Una pinche mosca or something. I don't know what happened.
Oh.
Oh, man.
Well, that kind of like we were kind of talking about this like right before we started about like Mexican nicknames and how
Oh, yeah.
you know I feel like Mexicans be out of pocket sometimes.
Out of pocket. Sometimes. All the time.
Oh my god.
They're hardcore.
They're hardcore.
Yeah.
Do you keep up with, like, if someone's talking, like, echándote carrera, can you pick up pretty fast, or you got to take a second, or you're out of tone?
Can you say that in English?
And when people are talking shit to you in Spanish, like,
Yeah.
can you, like, pick up, or, like, is it take, like, some things and other things just...
I think I do okay.
Yeah.
To me, it's just a conversation. Like I understand it. I know how to speak it. So if I got to give, shit back, I do. But
like, in, like, like, the double meanings, that when people tell you double meanings, and it's like, oh, yeah, you're answering, but then, like, low-key means something else.
sometimes I guess it would depend.
Yeah.
So
I learned very well in construction. Some people would try to, like, give me shit, and I was like, oh, bro, I already went to war, came back, and went again.
Yeah.
Like, just because I'm a kid doesn't mean, like, but yeah. The construction is where you, like, you learn everything.
Yeah. I could see
And
it.
is when a grown man can act gay
yeah,
and then just go home to their normal lives.
yeah.
I don't know. Did you ever work a construction job?
I did not.
Yeah, you missed out.
I got soft hands, y'all. I think I said that before. Like they're moisturized, like no calluses.
Carpal tunnel, maybe.
They're pretty possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially on my left hand. It just feels different, you know. What are we talking about? Why are you blushing, John? Did you figure out the vulva? Did you?
Yeah. Well, I looked it up.
Okay, cool.
I'm
Yeah,
very well aware.
We got to learn about that stuff.
Oh
So,
my
Dynamics and
gosh.
stuff.
yeah. So
How embarrassing.
we got Easter coming up.
Yeah.
Do you guys do anything like special for Easter?
Like we get together with our family and do like a meal or whatever. I don't want to say dinner because
Yeah, nobody eats dinner.
we don't do like a dinner, you know, and we do a carne asada kind of thing. And usually that starts around about like 3 p.m., I would say. And usually we do it like at my parents' house. And like we'll go over with the kids, my sister and my little brother will be there. And
Do they live at that house with the yellow door?
no, not anymore. It's still theirs, but that's the one I was telling you guys last time. Okay, we need to fix the door, and I'm gonna make sure it's not yellow.
Oh, that's the door.
That's the door. Yeah, but no. So we'll go to my parents' house, and usually we'll like hide some eggs, you know, and give the kids some baskets. But bro, like, no he hecho nada. Like.
Well, it's only a Thursday, so you have.
No, but still, like, I feel like by this time, I'm already, like, set. Like, I've already been buying stuff for their baskets, or I have the eggs filled, or, like, I have a plan. And I don't know if it's because I got sick earlier in the month, and it just, like, I just feel like it threw me off. Because even my little, like, monthly marketing thing, I don't know. Like, I just have not felt like thinking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, whatever. Taxes?
Extension.
I extended. This was my first year, and I was like, I'm extending. Because I just, I don't know. Maybe it's still, like, remnants of the COVID, but, like, my brain is just like, I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to use my brain to like think on like planning and which I usually am, but
Could be the meth.
maybe.
Yeah.
Did you say the meth?
The meth, yeah. It'll do it. It'll do it to you.
That'll do
You
it.
know, that'll do it. Yeah, no, honestly, it's just this year just feels weird. It was fucking snowing this morning when I woke up.
Yeah, there was like, I mean, it was like little bits, right? But
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
I know. I came out and I was like, ooh, it's chilly.
We had a good week of weather last week. And
Yeah.
then this week's going to be absolutely ass.
But you know, it's always like that on Easter Sunday or like Easter weekend. It's
true.
always cold.
True. That
right?
is very true.
Because like we've taken the kids to go Easter egg hunting, like when the parks do it, you know, and it's always cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So I'm like,
Do you guys put money in the eggs?
on some, yeah.
Bair.
Bye.
What the fuck is this guy doing here?
We did like a scavenger hunt with Easter eggs that my Quincy was telling me about. That the kids really loved it, where like each egg had a clue of where to find the next egg, and then the last egg takes them to like their
Baskets or
whatever.
something.
Yeah, so we're gonna try to get that set up. I never fully understood like, and this is what's weird about holidays to me. It's just like Jesus' birthday, but then we got the fat man in a red suit, you know, with the ho ho hos. And now it's like Jesus, the resurrection.
Yeah.
What the hell does a rabbit and huevos
Well,
have
I
to do
think
with
that's the American
That's what I was going to say.
thing.
It's
It's
just more-
not. I don't think the rabbit and the huevos are any part of the religious
Yeah.
thing.
Do like it? Do they have huevitos in Mexico?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
I don't
No.
think so.
Yeah.
That's just that's a you thing. You know what I'm saying? That's
see.
an American thing.
That's how we make.
It's a youth thing.
That's how we make money.
So
you
it
know what I mean?
says, the tradition of the Easter Bunny is primarily attributed to the German immigrants who brought the tradition over to the Americas in the
see?
1700s.
Them
They
little
had
Germans.
Germans, dude.
tradition of egg laying called Osterhaze and Osterhaus. It would prepare the nest I can't read, man.
Oh,
But it's a German
no.
tradition,
Yeah.
and it means the symbol that the hare is a symbol of fertility and rebirth, which often is associated with spring season, making it fitting symbol for Easter.
Isn't the Christmas tree a German tradition too?
Let me ask.
Something like that. See, it's because, okay, that just got me thinking. Like, what do Americans have themselves?
Yeah, it's German also.
Like,
Yeah.
what do, like, de aquí, de los Estados Unidos, like,
Yeah.
what traditions are American? Because I feel like all of these things are from all these other countries, and we've
We're-
like integrated them, right? Because we are a country of immigrants.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so we're a country of immigrants, and I hope this
Right?
doesn't get me in trouble, but we got like Americans, Native American, they got casinos, right? But like the other traditions and stuff, like it is like it's from all.
Yeah.
We're a country of immigrants. That we're Americans now. Y'all are Americans, by the way. So like
Mexican American.
the traditions, the traditions that we have here are really from the stuff that we brought. Like like you think about Christmas, it's German, right? Christmas tree, Easter egg, German. So it's kinda
Thanksgiving
crazy.
is all American though.
What was that?
Thanksgiving. It's
Well,
Sort of.
I,
It depends on the
like,
perspective
yeah.
that you're looking at
says
it for. Because
collaboration.
what are they trying to change it, or what do like some people say, like it's not Thanksgiving, it's like Indigenous People Day or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a time for gratitude and family gatherings, rooted in the colonial times and symbolizes American culture. The tradition Thanksgiving meal includes turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry. Oh, and 4th of July.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we're all Americans, even South Americans. Haven't you heard that like Tigres del Norte song, like de America?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. That's
Yo
the
soy-
thing.
America,
That is like,
Águilas.
we're all Americans because we're all on the continent of, you know,
America.
but I just think the U.S. likes to really like, we're Americans, you know, but
Well,
in
we're
reality, like Canadians are American.
Yeah, we're the
Mexicans are
United
American.
States of America.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Which is why the Gulf of America makes perfect sense, because it's in the continent of America. John's like, oh shit, here we go.
no empecemos,
But, yeah.
por favor.
I'm gonna vote for the Green Tea Party this year. next elections.
The green tea.
Is that
Yeah.
still going on? Probably, huh?
I don't know, man.
The Green Tea Party.
Like
Isn't that-
realistically, like we need to break the two-party system to begin with, because it's just all a crock of shit. But yeah, I don't know if we'll ever have a third party that.
Bro, you should run one day. You should start as a like mayor, then go
No,
senator, then congressman, and then Supreme Court. You'd be the second brown person in the Supreme Court.
No,
No.
imagínate.
And then,
no.
and then,
Va a ser puras fallas.
and then president.
no, I never want to
I
be
knew
involved.
a president. I've known a president personally. I have his phone number.
Yeah.
He's the president of the Rabbit Club Association here in Idaho.
The Rabbit Club.
The Rabbit Club Association, yeah.
What the hell
What
does
that-
that
what
mean?
that
Like,
is?
explain Rabbit Club.
So they like breed rabbits and they like shows and they have a club.
Dude, one of my favorite agents, I don't remember if it was her sister, they bred rabbits and they eat rabbits.
I heard rabbits are good, but they carry a lot of diseases.
I don't
Do
know.
they?
Everything fucking carries diseases. I'm out.
True.
Like, you know how, okay, y'all eat bacon, y'all eat pork, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
And then, like, I keep seeing stuff like, you know, sometimes pork has, like, worms and stuff,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
can get
yeah.
up to your brain. Y que
Sure.
sabe qué. And I'm like,
I'm watching The Godfather of Harlem, and like Malcolm X says, the word of Islam, you're not supposed to eat pork.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that show? Sorry to put it away. It's fucking good.
What's that one movie? It was like old school movie that was pretty like racial. I forgot what it was called, but
A lot of them.
No, pues
But
quién sabe.
they explained like during the Malcolm X time that his name was Clytus or something like that. He was a boxer and he was
Isn't it
joining
Cletus?
Islam.
Cassius Clay.
Cassius Clay,
Cassius
yeah,
Clay.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali.
yeah, and then that when they named him, it was like your name's gonna be Muhammad Ali. And I was like, holy shit, no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, Cassius Clay. That's
Yeah.
what it
I
was.
love that.
Cletus.
Yeah, Cletus is a YouTuber.
There's been times where I have felt like I should explore like something totally different religious wise, like whether Buddhism or something crazy, or just try to like just I don't know, just explore.
Yeah,
You know what I
I've
mean?
thought of that too.
Just get out there, see what it is.
I don't got time and focus to do that.
Yeah, so I gotta ask you, Mr. Religious over here, because I think he's got to be the most religious.
Out of the
one.
three of us,
I have the most seat time. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Imagine.
How do y'all view Easter? Like, what's your experience? Like,
My experience with Easter is that one time I went on the Saturday Mass and it was 3.5 hours long.
Yeah, they are long.
So that one was rough. But I don't know. I mean, I've never like celebrated it before until I got married. But they just go to church. I don't do anything different. But this is the first year like my wife like is building a basket for my baby, but our baby. But I don't understand why, because she's like too young. But I'm like,
she's a
whatever,
baby.
whatever floats the
Yeah.
boat. I mean, you know. But no, like we don't really celebrate it. At least my family never really celebrate it.
No, you
That's why I
guys
like
don't
to-
get together or nothing.
No baskets. Because Palm Sunday, I think, is like more important. Like you go to Palm Sunday. That was last Sunday. So like Easter, like we never. My little brother, we took him maybe once or twice to go get eggs, like at the park, like you said. But like celebration wise, no. So this is probably this is my second, third, fourth, fifth year, because church starts today, Saturday. Today, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so, yeah, I'm not very religious. I just go to church more than the
us, for
average
sure.
Joe, you know. What
I remember I went to an Easter egg hunt sponsored by the Catholic Church in Blackfoot, and I took Jacoby when he was like little. Dude, I remember there was a mom there that was like boxing out other kids, just like grabbing all the eggs. I was like, damn,
Yeah,
that's hardcore.
Parents are just, man. They get wild, I think, in anything. I mean, come on. Have you never been to a Mexican party donde quebran la piñata y ahí se andan metiendo los parents and stuff? And it's like,
for
bro,
fucking candy.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And then they're all hoarding it on. It's like, come on. Like, give some to the little kids,
Yeah.
whatever. But no, I mean, we don't really do anything religious-wise. I guess it's just more of like a family gathering
Yeah.
time, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, my sister was just like, "What are we gonna do?" And I'm like, "I haven't even thought about it. I don't even know."
Yeah.
So, but my guess is if the weather's nice, I'm guessing we might do like a carne asada or something like that.
I hope to see you guys all at church.
I think we might, because we haven't been in a while, and I think it is important to go, especially to those important dates and stuff. And like my kids are. Like they're baptized, and my oldest has done his communion. And so I still do want to like, take them and whatever. So I think we are going to try.
I was reading here, and it says that one of the important, like, there's a bunch of, like, what it means, but it says, like, the Easter Vigil, the Vigil service on Holy Saturday evening, the 3-hour one, is a pivotal moment where new converts are baptized and welcomed into the church. So I do remember that. They do baptize people that day. Because it means it's a beginning of a new creation. So Easter is seen as the start of new creation, a time renewal, spiritual birth, and those who believe.
Dile a Noel que lleve a las niñas.
I think you had to do that before. But yeah. We were talking to him about that. But yeah, that's what. I remember last year, someone even got married that day after church.
Damn. Yeah, the bouncers don't let me in anymore. I say, la
Yeah, for
iglesia
real.
won't let me in, so I got to stay out. So,
Especially
Yeah.
in the Blackfoot one, there's definitely no bouncers. Dude, it's crazy because, like, I go to, like, 9 o'clock in the morning and, like,
Because that's the English one, right?
there's one at 8 and one at 9 and then one at 5 o'clock is English too. But there's a huge, like, spectrum of race now.
yeah.
Back then it used to be, like,
All white, and then
all
a
white
few of
and
us
older,
peppered in.
But
Yeah.
they're so packed, bro. The masses, they have so many now that they're talking about, like, they need to do something in order to hold these people because, like, there's mass at 8, 9, 11, no, 9:30, 11:30, 1:30, and then the 5 o'clock, then on Saturday. And all of them are packed, like, packed. And so, like, you see all kinds of people there. And I'm like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Dude, I had a crazy experience when we were planning my mom's funeral with the church in Blackfoot. I was late as usual.
You were late to your mom's?
Not with the funeral, but like to the talk with the padrecito. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I get there and I could sense tension. I was like, oh shit, what happened? Because it was my sister and a couple of my aunts. And I'm like,
Tension between the family or el padre with you?
no, like with everybody that was there. I'm just like, damn, what the hell happened? So I'm just kind of, doing my thing. And then come to find out, like he straight up asked everybody, like, why are you guys trying to do this at the church? And
Si no vienen a misa.
yeah, si no vienen a misa. And I think my sister said, like, well, it's for my mom. And he was like, well, she's dead. It's not for your mom. So I'm just sitting there, like, and I couldn't figure it out. And then afterwards, like, I'm glad you showed up late, because they started explaining it to me, and I'm just like, that.
I mean, what would you have said?
What?
What would you have said if you
I
were
would
there?
honestly, for me, it's just like, yeah, same thing. It's just like, well, I mean, I don't want to be here. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, was your mom religious?
She was religious, but she didn't go to church. Like,
Yeah.
I got to my first communion, and I didn't really do,
Yeah.
anything else. But like, my dad was the same way. Like, they'd still pray the Virgencita. They do.
Yeah,
that,
like
but
they believed, but they just didn't.
they didn't go to
and
church and,
stuff.
everything like that. So for me, I'm just like, if it was up to me, I wouldn't have done. I just
Because like when my uncle passed, and maybe it's the same padre or whatever, because I mean it was in Blackfoot, but like he just came to the funeral, and at the funeral he like said some things and he prayed over the casket and whatever, and then that was it. But we didn't do like a whole church thing. But that's what your family wanted for her, was to do like a mass kind of thing.
Yeah.
At church.
That's just kind of what they've always done, at least like with my dad, with my sister. I think my sister that passed was maybe the most religious one, because they'd attend church more, but they did it for my dad. Like my dad, when he was sick, they got married through the church, but the padre that was there before kind of encouraged it. I haven't really ever met this one before, but yeah. So I was like, I could feel the tension. It was kind of weird, but
if it was the main priest, I could definitely see it, because he's very like. So there's like a priest that's in charge of all the area.
yeah,
If it was him, I could totally see.
Yeah.
Like why you would say that. I don't know if there's another priest in Blackfoot, because the one that was there before up by the tree, he was really, really cool.
yeah.
But his mom died, and so he I think he got transferred, or he moved.
I think he's in Jerome now.
Yeah.
And then now it's just a little short dude.
Yeah. I don't know. But the main priest, he's very hard. The one, and he's gonna be here for a long time.
Yeah.
He's very hard with everything, because like I see where he comes from. It's like people can't give up even 1 hour, but when they need something, like for weddings or baptisms or everything, like they want something, and like I get that, but I also get like, bro, like you can't. It's not if you're Catholic, you're Catholic. You can't.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves the same. Yeah, because I'm seeing it now with some of my friends that are like trying to go through that, like even if it's through a baptism or anything, how strict and how like cold and cut.
Yeah.
Instead of like winning the hearts of people, you're kind of like fuck. But I mean, every priest is different.
Like I could see their view. I do feel like a lot of people are just doing it for show. It's like, oh, me quiero casar por la iglesia, but it's for show, because you don't attend, you don't practice, you don't do anything, and then you just want this like big wedding and da-da-da. Or like, que quieras bautizar, and maybe I should include myself too, like we don't go as often as we should, but obviously we still like los bautizamos, but it's not like an all eyes on me kind of type of thing, but versus like a wedding, that one is like, right?
Like for your mom's funeral, Alice, with the deacon, like I didn't really like the way he was coming off. Like he would say like, "Oh, I have other things to do." I'm like, "Bro, shut the fuck up, bro."
He
like,
said that?
Yeah, he was saying.
Yeah,
I don't know
he
if you
was
remember.
talking
He's
about
like,
his
"Oh, I have
schedule.
to somewhere." Yeah, and I'm like, "Bro, like I felt bad. Like if that's how you're like representing the church, like I felt bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like it could have been any other person, bro." And I was telling my wife, I'm like, "What the fuck is up with this?" Like honestly, like, and I mean, I've never liked the way he like preaches or like anything. That specific deacon.
That's because that's in Blackfoot.
No, he's from
from
Idle
here?
Falls. Yeah. I told my wife, I was like, "Wow, that's like damn." I told her like, you should tell something to the priest, because like, and there's things why he he doesn't preach as much anymore because of the way he does. But I'm
Yeah.
bro, like, I honestly that when I was listening, I'm like, what the fuck are you saying, bro?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Entonces, ¿para qué
damn.
está aquí? Le has dicho.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's like, he mentioned it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
You know?
Dang.
And the way he comes off, he's just very like aggressive. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bro. Like,
I did think it was cool that he did it because, like, I think all the fathers or priests or whatever they're called were at like some sort of convention in Boise.
yeah.
So he was kind
So-
of like your only resort
Yeah,
kind
he's
of
the only
thing.
one that speaks
Dang.
Spanish.
And the only time that he could do it fit exactly in between like the rest of his day.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't like it's interesting that you notice that. Like I didn't notice that. Like for me, like during those moments and like the funerals like that, it's just like you rarely notice shit. Like that, you know,
like you said,
everything's
that's
just a
that's
blur.
a good side that there
Well,
was
especially
someone.
you're not gonna be in that mindset, you
Yeah.
know, to be like really listening. I feel
Yeah.
right. Your mind is just
But
grieving and stuff,
Yeah.
and so I think for everybody else, you're like,
Yeah.
what the hell did he just?
Weirdly, I don't see beyond like the second row, if that makes sense. Because like when I think of like my dad's funeral, I think of like, damn, there was all these people here, and then like my sister's, it was like less people, and now with my
Yeah.
mom's, it was like, damn, like it's just a different like feeling. But it's just like, yeah, you just want to get out of it, basically. Like you just want to be done. But because they close the casket at the funeral home, and that's kind of like the last time you see him. So like you're getting a ride over there, and you get people that, you know, cry. And, you know, I tell everybody, like when I went to Mexico when I was in like first grade when my grandpa died, and I would hear people cry. It was like a certain cries that I remember that it still kind of traumatized me, and I'd hear them at all these funerals. And I heard it at my mom's, and I saw who it was, and it was one of my aunts, and I'm just like, damn, that's like the one that would haunt me, like this certain like yell, you know what I mean?
Por su culpa, señora.
Yeah, but no, it's nuts. It's a crazy experience, but that's interesting that that's kind of what stuck out because
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was more like, fuck, if that was my funeral and that's what I'm getting as a Catholic, like,
yeah,
you know, like, yeah, you see it a different way. That's what I like. Like I always said, like, I like because you see a different perspective. But I'm like, as a Catholic, if that was my funeral and that's what I was like, bro, like you could have done
be just 'cause
everything
he was-
without that.
Because
Yeah.
he was feeling. Was
He
he
said
the
it
same
more.
one that had the conversation with you guys?
no,
and
he's a
stuff?
different
No?
dude.
No,
Yeah.
he's a cool person overall as a human being, but like just the way he preaches is very aggressive overall. But like that
O
stuff,
sea,
he
te
coulda-
regaña, pues.
basically, yeah. And but like that, he could have left all that out because he said it like 3 or
Yeah.
4 times.
Yeah.
You know, like, bro, like even if it's last minute, like you could talk about anything else but that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Ya está ahí. Ya why are you rehashing
We get it, bro.
something?
Like we get it, bro. You made it. Like,
Right.
thank you. But,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's one of those things that I was like, yeah, me and my wife were like, what the fuck?
yeah,
Like, but I mean,
yeah. So when it comes to religion and like Easter, like, you know, the whole resurrection thing, like, do y'all think and believe that, like, you know, like the Terminator, you'll be back? You know what I mean?
I think as like me personally, always like thinking like everybody's like, if you're a good Catholic, you'll be judged one day and
Yeah.
you'll go to heaven, right? But I'm like, what if heaven doesn't exist, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I always have like those like, fuck, I'm the kid sitting in the bench and like, is this really true? Like, like not doubting, but be like, you know, because I think it's good to believe in something. But I'm like, what if there isn't heaven, or what if we don't? Like, just lights turn off and you're,
Yeah.
you know, I would love to believe like the minute like when you pass, you're gonna be greeted with all your family and everybody that you once knew and they knew, you know. But like, what if
Yeah.
that doesn't exist?
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I
And then,
mean,
like, if you're in heaven, do you resurrect back here on earth, or what? Where do you go?
Like the good Joseph Smith said, you get to remarry in you get in heaven. Was it
Well, I think you get your own planet with that religion.
really?
Yeah.
are you talking about Scientology?
No, Mormonism.
I don't understand the religion fully, but what I do understand is something like, isn't it men, maybe you know a little bit more, Elias, but like, isn't it that the men can remarry if the wife passes away, but a wife cannot remarry because she has to be there when the man comes to heaven? Am I on the right path?
It's something tricky. I know there's kind of like separate different rules, like, you know what I mean? Even people that were married in the temple and they do get a divorce, like they have to try to get a temple divorce. If not, they're still tied to the person that.
And internal.
Yeah. So yeah, it's complex, you know, but I think
Where does religion draw the line of complexity?
As far as
It's like, like I think there's like basic concepts, and it comes back from like, I don't know, like a root thought.
Yeah.
Like you get married with someone, you're gonna be bound to them for the rest of your life.
Oh, you know
But
how
then-
they say you getting sealed.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I mean. Like, where do you draw the line and be like simple things like that? Like, you should not kill, and then like that draws the line. Like, okay, yeah, you shouldn't kill. But like when it comes to marriage, like you can get married through the church, or you can get married through the temple. But then if you get married through there, and then these are the reasons how you can get out of it. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, when there's like little things, just like I guess you could say like the Constitution. Yeah. It was written, but then you change here, you change here, you change here. Like, so when is it like, when do you draw the line and be like, bro, this is fucking ridiculous?
Yeah, I think honestly for me, like, and I think we've had this conversation before, like when it comes to religion, like I look at like humans in general, like we have always felt there was a higher power, right? Like even since before Christianity was a thing, right? Because I think if you look at the Bible, like the timeline of the earth, and people would debate it, like it's like 10,000 years old, but earth is like billions of years old. But people have always worshipped something because they have felt a connection to a higher power. That's why depending on where you grew up in the earth, what time, in the timeline that you were born, you could have, if you were Greek, it was Greek, gods. If you were Egyptian, it was Egyptian gods. Like, but we all have a connection to something bigger than just us, a higher power. So to me, that's where I think, I do believe in a God, and God is a term that we use, right? But when it comes to like religion and all these rules and regulations, to me, like that's all people. That's not faith, and I think the complexity
That's the
is
man putting rules on us.
Yeah, all these stories and all these different things, I think I made a joke on Facebook on a post about Noah's Ark, right? Like he really built something with dinosaurs on there, and he had a brontosaurus and a T-Rex and all these heavy things in this flood, and like people were like, yeah, they were there, and it's just like, okay, cool, like, but like in my brain, I can't, like.
It's because it was made out of gopher wood. That's why.
Gopher wood? Mm-hmm. What the hell is gopher wood?
I don't know, but they put it in Evan Almighty. I don't know if you've seen the movie. He builds the ark too.
Oh yeah.
And then it's got delivered by gopher wood.
Okay.
Like, so it was made out of gopher wood.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of wood that is, but
yeah. So it's interesting to me, like, but at the end of the day, like, what I love about religion and those things is like it gives us something to believe in, and it keeps us in line, and for a lot of people, it gives you purpose. You know what I mean? So that's what I love about it. But it's just interesting when you look at like the psychology behind it and just how different it is for everyone. Like, we're definitely connected to something higher than us. I was watching some videos last night, thanks to a friend that sent me some videos about just like, like are we in a simulation? Like all these.
I've seen
all
videos
these
like
different
that,
things,
dude.
man. It's just wild. Like, but we're tied to a creator somewhere.
Yeah.
Question is, like, what is it?
right.
I
always have those like not doubtful thoughts, but like if I believe in religion and I believe the religion's correct, then what about everybody else? Are they not going to be saved? I know there's an answer to that because I asked that once, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So are you not going to be saved, or like are you not going to be saved, or am I not going to be saved because I don't go to church every weekend?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think Kane Brown said it best. Like, everybody's talking about
the
heaven.
country singer.
Yeah, like everybody's talking about heaven, like they just can't wait to go. But I mean, I don't know the rest of the words, but something about somebody being beautiful and lying next to you in this bed with you. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's interesting, man. And I mean, you believe in heaven, but there's other religions that believe something completely different.
Yeah.
And they're staunch that this is is how it is. So again, for us, like my job or the way I'm approaching life is I don't need to know all the answers. I'm just going to live. And when it's time for me to meet my creator, hopefully I was just a good enough human where they're like, hey, you're in, right? Instead of like, you're out. But
En este güey, cierra las puertas.
yeah, it's like, shit, no, yeah. Fuera. A chacal.
I saw the simulation videos a while ago. I was probably a kid, man. I was probably like still in like middle school or being in high school. And then one of the things is like, every time you get a chance, look outside your house. When have you seen your neighbors putting in their groceries?
Oh, I've heard that one.
And I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit! And then I'm like, I never would see my neighbors.
I've been thinking about that every time I get home with my groceries. Like, do they see me?
You know what I mean? I haven't seen anybody come in with the grocery. You know how the Mexicans come in the car, bolsas, I'm like, holy shit, I've never seen. But then, yeah, I finally moved where I'm at, and I've seen people. So that's fake.
I haven't seen my front neighbors, and they don't park in their garage because their garage is full of stuff. So they park outside. So you would think that I would see them taking out their groceries, but I've never seen them. I park in my garage, and sometimes I'll close it, and then I'm unloading. But yeah, I don't know.
It's interesting. They gave an example of like Grand Theft Auto or like a video game. Like in the video game, you're perceiving that you're in a car, that you're doing all these things, but like within the video game, that's not what it is. Like it's just creating it, but like that's what you're seeing. That's what you're perceiving. So a lot of our reality is like our perception. So it exists because we see it, we perceive it, but as we're not seeing something, does it actually exist? Because our brains fill in what we're seeing sometimes, right? Like, so when you look at one of those like illusions that you could see a couple of different things, it all depends on what exists. Like, is it a bunny? Is it a whatever else it is, right? I'm trying to figure out.
Now you got me thinking.
But yeah, so like really for us, like as we travel through space and time, like what is reality? What is time, right?
So I don't know if it came through your guys' feed on TikTok, but there was this girl that came on mine, and she was talking about a story that somebody else sent to her, and it was about that this girl, when she was younger, her dad worked at this like gas station, something like that, right? And that one day he came home and he's freaking out, and this was back in like the 70s, something like that. And that he comes home and he's like, I just saw like people from the future, and like nobody believed him, and he kind of went crazy because nobody believed him. Well, then somebody else that saw her video was like, yo, I think that was my family, because something weird happened. Like they were driving, like, and this is like, more like current time, and she's like, yeah, we were driving somewhere or whatever, and out of nowhere, like we kind of kept driving, and then we saw this gas station, and the gas station just looked like it was an old rundown gas station. And we walked in and everything looked old, like from back in the day. And there was a guy wearing overalls with a white t-shirt on it, and he was just kind of looking at us or whatever, and we were like, this is kind of weird, this is kind of eerie. And so they just like left, but it was like in two different timelines. And like there was like a whole bunch of freaking videos after that that like the kid from the dad, now he's in his, he's way older now. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna send a picture of my dad or whatever. And so now he's got the kid of the dad and these people, and they're like seeing the pictures. And so it's like, how does that happen? Kind of like this whole Bermuda Triangle thing, right? Like that's another one of those, like, people say weird shit happens over there, or people disappear. It could be a portal and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And
that story that you tell me, I don't know if I told it on this podcast, but I had to look it up real quick. But it kind of, so this girl, her name was Sofia Juarez. Did you guys ever hear about that story? She went missing in Washington by her stepdad, apparently. Abducted her, disappeared.
Yeah.
And she was missing for 18 years. And this YouTuber, he has a podcast called ¿cómo se dice? El podcast de Oz or something like that. He interviews like really big celebrities now. But back then, when during COVID, he was doing interviews in Mexico, and I think it was in Sinaloa, if I remember right. Because I'm trying to remember. And he's doing interviews, and he found this girl that looked like a homeless girl, and he's asking her, he's like, hey, can I do an interview? He's like, no, like, get away from me. And then she started saying that she had to get to a party, and that because she got abducted on her birthday. And so she's like, no, leave me alone. I have somewhere to be. And then he left. He's like, all right, whatever. He comes back. She's like, oh, I'll do the interview if you give me a cigarette. And he's like, okay. And then he started saying that she was going in and out in like her thoughts, but that she had to get back to her family, and then he started asking questions, but she wouldn't answer her straight. And so they uploaded the video, and then out of nowhere, everybody starts commenting, "Hey, that's Sofia Juarez. That's Sofia Juarez." And then
people started recognizing
Washington police contacted him. He's like, "Hey, like, we need you to find her. Like, can you help us with that?" He's like, "Yeah, I can go look for her." He's like, they looked and looked. They never saw her again. And then they got contacted. Somebody called him, and he's like, "Hey, you need to leave this alone. If not, like, you're going to find out." And they're like, we stopped communicating with the police. We're like, we're not going to mess around. And so what they thought is that the girl was involved with, obviously, with the cartel, but what they would do is abduct these kids and then just sex traffic them. And so, yeah, that's why they probably couldn't find her anymore. But it reminded me of that. I know you were talking about more like that, but I was like, that's crazy that this YouTuber found her.
Yeah.
And she was like mumbling that she had to get back.
Was like,
but she was gone, like,
she
mentally.
was gone, yeah.
Yeah, and then they never were able to find her anymore.
Dang.
And it's like people didn't even know who he was talking about. They named, like, people around the area. They're like, no, we don't even know. Because I was like, holy shit,
it's crazy. So,
yeah, that's one of those stories that are like, uy,
so
que miedo.
It goes back to like perception, right? Like where we're at. So one of my favorite stories, and I just had to look it up while you were talking, but the story of like, so it's Einstein's theory of special relativity, right? Have you heard that story where you have two twins? They're here on Earth, and then one twin embarks on a journey into space, and they're traveling a fraction of the speed of light, and he's gone for decades, right? We'll say the twins are John and Ibaris. Y'all are twins. Well,
I'm better looking.
When John goes into space and he's traveling at the speed, at a high speed, and then he turns around and comes back to Earth. Well, he's gone for, decades. When he returns, Ibaris is significantly older because you aged based on your reference, right?
Yeah.
It's relative. Time is relative to where you're at. You didn't age as much because of how you were traveling. So, and I think that's the theory of special relativity or something like that, where like you guys can be the same age before that.
Well, have you
takes
seen
place.
One of my favorite movies is Interstellar?
Okay.
Have you watched Interstellar? Yeah. That's exactly what it is, right? Like the dad goes out to space to find a new planet to take, whatever, and he leaves his daughter behind, and his daughter's like, she's got to be like 9 at the time when he leaves, and by the time he gets back, she's on her deathbed, and he's still like 40 something.
Yeah.
You've never seen
I need
it?
to watch
It's
that.
good.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
So what even is time, right? If it's relative, then that's where all that shit, like, it really makes you think. Like, it's an interesting concept. I think religion and science can coincide, but also sometimes it's just like, it's interesting, because there's a lot of time references in the Bible. And
that movie kind of gets me thinking, like, I don't know if it was you guys or maybe it's just videos I've watched, but like, I do think that we all have different energies, right? And there's certain frequencies that we can't see, and I do think that time is linear too. And so, kind of like in Interstellar, there's a part where he's going through the black hole and he thinks he sees an alien, but it's really him in the past, passing himself again. So he's, so a thought that people have is that when we pass, our energy still remains here, but we can't see it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Your energy transfers somewhere.
I'm going to stop picking my boogers then and flicking them.
Why? I mean, I'm not saying...
In case they hit somebody.
No, in case they see me. Or
Yeah.
scratching, men have a tendency to scratch and then...
Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
I'm going to stop doing stuff that I wouldn't do in public.
No, but that shit's interesting, right?
Right.
Like, and I mean, it's very possible that, and I think of Avengers, Marvel. And
Güey,
Otra vez
siempre
Right.
But you know
Well, I
what?
know.
Hold up. Did you watch the Loki series?
Hell yeah, I did.
In the Loki series, that's kind of what they talk about.
Yeah.
It's like there's different timelines,
Yeah.
And so it's like there could be 500 different Johns, versions of Johns, and like a ton of versions of Elias's and a ton of versions of me, but in different timelines, you
Yeah.
know?
So kind of like Spider-Man, the last one.
Love
When
it.
all
That's
three
such a good
Spider-Mans
show.
come.
Yeah, but when you
Oh, yeah,
I was talking about Ant-Man
The
and
multiverse,
in the
yeah.
quantum realm, right? He's in the quantum realm for like 5 minutes, but it ended up being 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think there's, to me, that's real. Like I think that it's not fiction, right? Like it's something that's real, and it's just trying to figure out. And I mean, Einstein did it way back in the day, but like I think when you dive deeper, and I'll send you all the video. You guys probably think it's boring. It's like 2 hours long, but it's just you sit there and you listen, and it's just like I was listening to it last night and just being like, damn. You know what I
Have
mean?
you ever thought that, like, you know, the people que dicen que están locos y que they're crazy and they put them in like institutions, like, you think they really crazy, or have they tapped into something that we can't tap into, and therefore the rest of society sees them as crazy?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even if you look at ADHD, right? Like people are like, oh yeah, you can't pay attention, you can't do this, you can't be in a classroom. It's just like, no, like, I mean, for the most part, we're not supposed to just sit in a spot, you know? And so, yeah, then we try to treat it to bring us down to normalization. I think there's people,
Normal.
even like mediums, right?
Yeah.
People that feel like they can speak to spirits or other energies and stuff. Like,
And you've had an encounter, kind of.
Yeah.
Remember? I remember that.
Yeah. You know, so it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, I believe that, and maybe people think I'm crazy, but like, I believe that stuff does exist. Like, there's people that have been, I mean, you think of people that were burnt because people thought they were witches and stuff. So I think if once you start breaking away from the norm, it doesn't mean you're actually crazy. Like, I do believe that people have the ability to tap into energies and see things and feel things, right? Like the Sixth Sense, like the little white boy who could see dead people.
That's right.
Right? Like,
dang, it's been a minute since I watched that one. Have you never watched that one?
dang,
Fuck,
dude.
no,
We need to make a list
Watch
for
it.
John.
Yeah. So no,
Sounds
I think,
scary.
I think all that's real. Even like some of your cameras and stuff, some of your microphones, like white noise
Yeah.
and stuff. Like,
Has that ever picked up any feedback that you were like, that's kind of weird?
I'm definitely not listening to anything else.
yeah, you just never know, right?
Oh, man. Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to get into scary topics because then I won't be able to sleep.
We need to go ghost hunting one day. Like, just take your camera. We'll go somewhere haunted.
Fuck no.
We'll go somewhere haunted, and
Aren't
we'll
there
just
like
check
some
it out.
caves around here somewhere that are
Oh,
like...
there's all sorts of things. I swear my cousin's house is haunted. We'll go to. Every Mexican knows a cousin or primo that's house is haunted.
Well,
I'm
we've
sure.
talked about it. I told you
Not
guys about
my
my
house. Hopefully.
my aunt's place in Blackfoot.
Yeah.
You know, that's like in those old native areas.
You live in like the Thunder Ridge area, don't you? Like in that area
No.
over there? Or what area do you live
Fuck
in?
nope.
What area do you live in?
Not up close to there or the cemetery.
Yeah, I know where you live.
There's nothing there.
Yeah,
I
dude,
checked.
Indian burial grounds.
No, fuck.
Yeah, check it
No.
out all throughout this
Yeah, you
area.
gotta fuck-
Everything could have been
Yeah.
an Indian
You're
burial
gonna
ground.
see a little baby.
You're gonna see
Indian.
white horse and that's over.
So sorry, man. Hey, why are you looking all nervous and scared now?
I don't like that shit, man.
It's just, that's why I guess for me, I don't really like to get into religion too much or think about it too much, because I'm a believer of, like, if you believe in one entity, you have to believe in the other. If you believe in the good, you have to believe in the bad. And so if there's the good energy, there's also the bad energy. If you believe in God, then there is its equivalent evil, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't just be like, oh, no más existe heaven and it's only God and da-da-da. Like, no, there's something else, right? But for some people, and I feel like I kind of fall into like this thought, I do think that there is another place that we go to when we pass. But I believe that this is our quote unquote hell. Because life is hard, dude. You know what I mean? I don't know that I necessarily believe that, oh, you go underground into hell and you get tortured. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That makes sense.
I think for me, it's like you suffer here. And it just depends on your life choices, obviously, right?
I don't necessarily believe in a heaven or hell.
Yeah.
I just believe that like we're transferring consciousness. Our energies are flowing into something different. And
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when we die here, we wake up somewhere else and realize, like, damn.
And that is Buddhists, right? They believe in reincarnation.
I think so.
I hope I can come back as a domesticated cat. That's what I want to be.
I don't think we.
Those get ran over a lot.
No. I need to be a bougie living cat, you know. Kind of like my cat is chill. I be telling her, I'm like, girl, I wish I had your life. Like, you got it set.
But
like,
their
I
poop
give you.
stink.
Your poop stinks, bro.
Yeah,
For
but I
real, what
flush
poop
it.
doesn't?
I flush it. Cats can't flush it. It just sits there.
Listen, it depends. Like my cat, that's what I'm saying. Like, my cat is an indoor-outdoor cat. So yo la dejo salir, and she'll poop, like, somewhere, like, in some grounds, and she buries it or whatever, you know. And then, obviously, in the wintertime, like, I have her box in our garage. So, like, our house doesn't smell at all, you know. But there are people that keep it inside, and then it's like, yeah, you can smell it, right? But that's why I be telling her, I'm like, damn, girl, you got it. You got it good. Like, I let you out when you want to be out. She just meows at me, and I'm like, you want to go outside? I let her outside. She roams outside, you know. And then, like, and she stays nearby, but she's roaming. Then when she's ready to come in, she comes in. She sleeps all day. She eats all day. She ain't got food. She tells me. She meows at me. I feed her. You know,
But can she do tricks?
She got a maid, though. You know?
They got to do tricks at least.
I wouldn't want to incarnate here on Earth. I want to just be somewhere out in the universe and space, somewhere different and experience, like, yeah, I just don't feel like I'm from here, right? I always joke with my wife, and it's not really a joke, but, like, launch me into space when I die.
Yeah.
Take me home.
Okay.
Te van a aventar el 5
Country
feet.
roads.
Okay, speaking of that, we're almost to an hour, but let's touch on this real quick.
Yeah.
What you think on those 6, was there 6 females?
Oh, yes. That's fucking.
That went to space, según. I don't know if I believe that shit.
Did you see that they supposedly opened the door before they opened it with the key?
Yes. And then fucking Jeff Bezos goes, he's like, trying to open it. Like, bruh, we
Yeah.
just saw whoever, I don't know, because you can't see who it was, but you see the door open, and then the girl goes and she's like, shut the fucking door. You know what I mean? And then.
Damn.
I don't know. All I know is that Katy Perry can make me roar anytime.
Oh, my
You know what I mean?
God.
So,
Well, that's all we got. It's hot in here and this thing's heating up. I don't know. We're gonna have to bring a fan
Really?
one of these days.
and maybe it's something's following you, man. Like,
Well, whoever's following me, just make sure it doesn't heat up after an hour.
But it's just this camera right here?
Yeah, because they shoot 4K and then it's hot in here, and so it has a fan built in, but then it gets hot, and then I know it's hot because then it has a little like thermometer next to your head,
Yeah.
and it's gonna shut off any minute.
Shit. Well, that's an interesting. I've seen like videos that it's fake or not. So honestly, I don't really give a shit. Like,
But it's like all that money they spent just because they could.
Yeah.
Just because they could. Yeah.
And, you know, all the resources spent to send these bitches somewhere. Because I don't know that I believe that they went
Yeah.
all the way up there. You know what I mean?
True.
But, like, all that show for what?
Yeah.
¿Qué ganaron? O sea, I don't...
Brand deals. Fashion Nova brand deals.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm like, all right, whatever.
They should at least tucking a guy.
If I was rich, I wouldn't pay for that shit.
No.
Yeah. I'd be feeding kids somewhere, I think. Of course, my kids, but Cancun, who knows where. Sandro, you know what I mean? Just wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting one. That was
For
fun.
real, they got
that
derailed,
was some
dude.
good- That was perfect. Did we even talk about Easter?
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Most of the thing was Easter.
Cool. I
It
actually
went
like these a
into
little better.
religion and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, these are fun conversations. So, yeah. Well, thank you guys for being a part of today's conversation.
Yeah, it's a wild one.
Yeah, and hopefully we have more of these. We're almost to 1,000 followers on TikTok. We're getting there. Yeah. So
We're past 50 followers on YouTube.
John said we'd go live once we reach 1,000 followers.
Okay.
Yeah,
do
we'll do a
a live
live
one.
episode. I would be like in the night or the day or what y'all let us know when you want us to go live so we have some interaction. So
All right.
It's
See
gonna
you
be
guys.
Bianca and Rod.
appreciate you
See you
guys.
guys.